What's going on, Pops? How you doing?
Hey, salam alaikum, son. Once again, this song.
Well, alaikum salam, Pops. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. sir.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling well. I'm feeling good, man. Feeling well. It's Ramadan. It's Ramadan Mubarak. To
All
yourself,
praises due
Ramadan
to Allah.
Mubarak. To everybody, all the Muslims out there. I'm hungry, but I'm strong. I'm strong. Ready to
Word.
get this in. Yes, sir. How about yourself, son?
Doing well. As always,
Good.
another day in paradise. Welcome back, world. Viewers,
Welcome.
subscribers,
Welcome.
to another episode of Two
Two.
Treys
Right.
podcast. It's me,
Indeed.
Son Trey. And as always with me is Pop Trey. Pops, you want to go
Smoke.
ahead and let them know why we do this every episode?
Yes. In 25 episodes, our purpose doesn't change. Our purpose mainly is to bring forth and bridge the gap between fathers and sons, between the youth and the elders, and bring back the Black community, bring them back strong, and just bring nothing but love to our community as well. And that's our purpose. No drama, just all positive energy, positive guests like we have today, and in hopes that we inspire and motivate and get a message across.
Yes, sir.
Always. Absolutely.
And for you guys, we definitely have a very special episode for you guys today. But before we get into the surprise for you guys, let's go ahead and get our honorable mention out of the way.
Indeed.
Pops, you want to go ahead and let them know who that is, and I'll get our picture pulled up for us so we have a
Absolutely,
name to the
son.
face.
Absolutely. Well, today, one very special sister. She goes by the name of Lucy Craft Laney. There she is. Lucy Craft Laney, born April 13th, 1854, October 24th through October 24th, 1933. She was an American educator who in 1883 founded the first school for Black children in Augusta, Georgia. She was principal for 50 years of the Haynes Institute for Industrial and Normal Education. In 1974, Laney was posthumously selected by Governor Jimmy Carter as one of the first 3 African Americans honored by having their portraits installed in the Georgia state capitol. She also was inducted into the Georgia Women of Achievement. Lucy Craft Laney was born free in Macon, Georgia, 11 years before slavery was abolished by the Constitutional Amendment after the end of the Civil War. She was the seventh, of 10 children born to Louisa and David Laney, free people who were both formerly enslaved. Her father had saved enough money to buy his freedom and that of his wife about 20 years before Lucy's birth. Both her parents were strong believers in education and were very given to strangers. This upbringing would strongly influence Laney in her life. At the time of her birth, it was illegal in Georgia for Black people to learn to read. But with the help of Miss Campbell, her parents' former enslaver's sister, Lucy learned to read at the age of 4. She continued to study and attended Lewis High School in Macon, Georgia, a mission school run by the American Missionary Association. In 1869, she entered the first class of Atlanta University, later Clark Atlanta University, where she prepared to be a teacher. She graduated from the school's teacher training program, the Normal Department, in 1873. Haynes Normal and Industrial Institute was a school for African Americans in Augusta, Georgia, established by Lucy Craft. It was named in honor of a benefactor who funded its expansion. A historical marker was added to the school site in 2009. It eventually became the Lucy Craft Laney High School. Laney opened the school with a few students in 1883. She served as the school's principal, chartered in 1886. It was expanded with a kindergarten and junior college, now Lamar School of Nursing. By 1928, it had more than 800 students. The school also served as a community center. And in 1974, Governor Jimmy Carter arranged to hang the first portraits of African Americans in the Georgia state capitol to honor their contributions. Included were Lucy Craft Laney, the Reverend Henry McNeil Turner, and the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. In 1992, Laney was inducted into the Georgia Women of Achievement. The legacy of Miss Laney, her burial was redeveloped for the Lucy Craft Laney Comprehensive High School, named in her honor, and her grave and memorial remain undisturbed. We salute you, Lucy Craft Laney.
Yes, sir. We salute you, Lucy Craft Laney. All right, Pops. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the ladder of our show. We have a special surprise for you guys out there. Pops, you want to go ahead and tell them a little bit, or introduce them to our guests?
Absolutely.
Allow them in.
I was back in December 31st. I had the privilege and honor to bless their particular podcast and their show called the STEM Files, co-hosted by brother Jabril Muhammad and his best friend and partner, brother Tariq Muhammad. With these two brothers, formed the STEM Files, and now they are here to bless us with their presence on our show, just to give us some information and background on themselves and where they are today and where they plan on doing for the future. Yes, sir. So,
all right. So without further ado, I'll go ahead and introduce them in. Yes, sir.
Bring them on in. Yes, sir.
How we doing, guys?
Doing well. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Yes, sir.
I like that applause. That was dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well deserved applause. Absolutely.
Love that.
Indeed.
Welcome, brother Jabril. Welcome, brother Tariq.
Thank you,
yes, sir.
Honored to be here.
Pleasure to be here. Yes, sir.
All right. If you guys want to let the viewers know out there who you guys are, and we can go from there.
You go ahead first, bro.
Oh, no, brother. You got your camera on. You got to go first.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, first and foremost, assalamu alaikum, family. Ramadan Mubarak. For those who don't know what those words mean, simply mean peace be unto you and blessed Ramadan. Ramadan meaning intense heat, a time where believers are striving to burn away sin and be better as human beings as we strive to grow in oneness with Almighty God Allah. My name is Brother Jabril Muhammad. I go by Jabrillian Engineer. I'm a civilian mechanical engineer focusing on naval ship fluid systems. I have a background in material science and engineering. I am the co-owner and director of engineering of Original Man Scientific LLC. It's a science and technology company where we strive to deliver the advantages of research and development to our communities. I'm also the proud co-host, along with my bro, Tariq Cardiac, of the STEM Files, the voice of STEM talent in Black culture. We do our best to highlight the best and brightest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics across the Black and brown diaspora. Born and raised in Philadelphia, homeschooled from 2nd to 9th grade, proud member of the Nation of Islam. Very, very in tune and interested in the affairs of my people and striving to make my community a safe and decent place to live through STEM. Like I said, I'm happy to be here, excited to share a bit of my and our story, and just can't wait to just get into the rest of this beautiful program. So that's all I have right now.
Indeed.
Brother Tariq?
Yeah, I should have went first. Praise be to Allah, assalamu alaikum, family. As my brother mentioned, I'm also honored to be here and joining my brothers, especially since I also share the same local mosque as TwoTreys, and that I'm very proud of. I am originally, my name is Tariq Muhammad, also known as Tariq Cardiac. I am a biomedical research scientist with a background in cardiovascular pathobiology, which is pretty much the study of how diseases form in the heart and blood vessels. I serve as the founder and chief operating officer of Original Man Scientific, as well as the co-host of the STEM Files. And as my brother mentioned, we try our best to showcase the plethora of talent in STEM that we have in the Black and brown communities. I'm excited to be on tonight's show. It's always an honor to join my brother in anything that we're doing. So just the mere fact that we're on here together is enough for me. So I thank Allah for the opportunity.
Absolutely. And we just want to appreciate you guys' presence and definitely any wisdom and knowledge that you guys are willing to share with our viewers and with us. We appreciate that. Definitely, definitely.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir.
Take it away, Trey.
Word. So you both say that you guys, well, the show that you guys have for the podcast is the Sim Files. You guys want to talk a little bit about what inspired you guys to start the show in the first place? And specifically, you guys are focused. You guys have a vast background in the STEM education background. So, if you guys want to speak on a little bit about like what made you guys go from having your studies in STEM to saying, okay, let's make this podcast about the very education you guys have a background in itself.
Absolutely.
You could go first now.
Yes, sir. So the STEM Files family was really inspired by, we really didn't see the type of showcasing that we wanted to see of Black people in STEM. We didn't see it inside the nation, and we didn't see it in any of our other communities the way we wanted to show it. You know, so what we did was, and this was around 2016, I believe. So
Yes,
the
sir.
STEM Files is going on 6 years old, and it was inspired by, the name of the show is inspired by the X Files, which is a popular show that came on back in the day, where people would investigate science fiction crimes or what have you. But we wanted to put a Black and powerful spin to it, where we're talking about Black people in STEM, and the Files aspect is us documenting the work, the amazing work that our people do in STEM. And we were originally on Blog Talk Radio, which is a online podcasting service. We left Blog Talk Radio in 2018. We moved straight to YouTube, and we took a break in 2019. Came back after a 1.5 year long hiatus, and now you see us on Facebook and YouTube, and hopefully on our very own website as we begin to stream the STEM Files independently in the very near future.
Absolutely.
But the STEM Files is really, and I'm sure my brother can put this better, the STEM Files is really that star for Black people in STEM. It's showing you that Black is STEM. Black has always been STEM. Black people have always trailblazed the STEM careers and have always shown you what STEM truly is. We are the innovators of STEM. We are the teachers of STEM. There's nothing in this world STEM related that has not been touched by a Black or brown person. So it's very imperative that we show the world what we're made of, what the world, who has created the world, and who will continue to innovate and produce great things for the world. So the STEM Files is really that engine. It's that light for our communities to see in STEM.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I don't know how much better I can say what you just said, bro.
Oh, trust me, brother. You can get better.
That was beautiful.
Yes,
I'll just add to the reasoning behind taking our disciplines and then growing and presenting a podcast. A lot of times, our people suffer from self-doubt, imposter syndrome, feeling like we're not enough. Black people don't do this. Black people don't do that.
Right.
This is what you should do. And a lot of times we require and really need a certain level of requisite access to people, personnel, equipment, etc., to understand intrinsically that we can do this. We've always been able to do this, but you need to see it sometimes. So the ability to communicate an idea effectively to an audience is so important, particularly in STEM. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is trying to take high-level concepts and put them into quantized bundles to then give you and allow you to eat steak in a very palatable manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we might talk about high-level engineering concepts, biological science concepts, how does STEM apply to the growth of one's business and entrepreneurship. But we understand we're talking to professionals, we're talking to enthusiasts, we're talking to students, we're talking to professors, we're talking to parents, right? How can anyone, regardless of what sphere of activity or what their surroundings involved can take something of value from what it is that we're discussing, and more particularly and more specifically what the guest is bringing to the table. So we found that very important and hope to continue to work on that front moving forward.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That sounds amazing. Pops, do you have a question before I go on?
Yeah. My main question really is, what exactly does STEM particularly focus on, target mainly? Is it just strictly science related, or is it medical?
So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, so STEM as a discipline, it touches everything. One thing we have to understand is STEM literally formulates the very fabric of our reality, right? One of the things that you'll notice from our podcast is our opening draws its inspiration from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And for those who know about that, you should know about Thanos. And Thanos had those Infinity Stones, and they were what? Time, space, reality, power, and soul, right?
Right.
But if you really break those terms down, that basically is synonymous with what? Fabric of reality. I control reality, fate, destiny, etc., etc. Well, that's what science, technology, engineering, mathematics does. Right. Those who understand those disciplines and the several disciplines and specialize in something are the rulers of the planet. And those who don't understand that will always be slave to those who do. Now, this is where we come in, because freedom, justice, and equality has to show forth. Am I going to use my powers for good or for evil? Right? So STEM is a tool like anything else. Right? But a sword in the hands of a knight and a sword in the hand of Jack the Ripper is two different things.
That's right.
Indeed.
Right? So am I going to be a knight, or am I going to be a serial killer?
Right. Yes, sir.
Am I going to prick the brain like Yaqub scientist, or am I going to prick the spirit like Master Fard Muhammad?
Let's go.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So that's what we have to be found doing, and that's what we're striving to do as a platform. That's what we're striving to do as a business, as a model for what we really can do as a people.
That's right. And Jabril made a very good point about good and evil. A lot of times our people, we tend to misunderstand certain aspects about science. A lot of our people think biotechnology is bad.
Yep.
But we've had several biotechnologists on the platform, and they tell you and they educate you on what biotechnology is and how it can be used for the betterment of your people. So we take pride in our show because it busts up a lot of myths. It busts up a lot of preconceived notions about what certain things about STEM is. It takes away the misunderstandings. It makes it easy for the community to understand, as Jabril mentioned earlier. So STEM, as some of the people who study STEM and are professionals in STEM like to box people out. STEM is a very inclusive field of endeavor, very inclusive. Anybody can be in STEM. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of STEM. So it's medicine, it's engineering, it's technology, it's audio engineering for all my musical entrepreneurs out there. It's everything. Everybody's in STEM. You may not consciously understand that yet, but something as simple as what is looked at as simple or not exactly relevant. Whatever you can basketball. Right. That is there's STEM in that. So we can't. It's not something that you can just avoid and say, "Oh man, I don't want to deal with STEM. I don't want to mess with no science." Okay, then stop breathing. So science,
come on,
then stop. Like you good.
Yeah, so I can see what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
I'm a basketball official as far as my profession, and when I train certain people who are just starting, I let them know that there's a science to this.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? It's not just get on the court, blow the whistle. It's a science, meaning that there's a reason behind everything.
That's right.
And that reason has to conclude into a positive result, unless you're gonna get yelled at. because you're gonna call something that's not right.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like in everything, I understand what you mean by science, and science is knowledge.
That's right.
And with knowledge comes power. And like Brother Jabril said, what you do with that power or you do with that knowledge determines whether you're good or you're evil.
That's right.
Exactly. I know exactly what you mean.
We'll draw that line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Son Trey?
Yeah, so guys, I don't know if you guys actually saw the episode, but we had the writer of The Matrix on, Sophia Stewart, and her book, The Matrix 4 and then The Third Eye, it kind of encapsulates a lot of what you guys are talking about. And I gave her a lot of praise because she was able to take STEM and relay it across to people in a way that was understandable to all levels. So I'm sure you guys were equally able to enjoy her art just as much as someone that is not as well versed in STEM. My question is, first, have you guys seen like the Matrix and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And you guys want to talk about exactly like how like essentially like her that's so-called sci-fi was able to be interpreted, and I know a lot of it was like a little bit of pseudoscience in a sense, where I don't know for you guys per se, but I know a lot of doctors and people of high astute don't particularly partake in these sciences like numerology per se and stuff like that. Do you guys want to like speak on essentially again, I don't know if you guys have seen like the film or read her books,
Yes,
but
sir.
that connection that she was able to make.
You want to go or you want me to go, bro?
Well, I'll say this. It's been a minute since I watched the Matrix, so I'm gonna try to go back and then remember what I can about it. But I do think a lot of that the sister did come up with that content, because it's very much needed. It taught us a lot, especially about mental health. When you're able to tap into another part of your consciousness to achieve something greater than yourself. That's really what I took from the Matrix more than anything. Right. Just the mental health aspect, being able to understand the difference between being alive and being dead mentally. There's nothing harder than resurrecting the dead.
Come on.
In that story and in that concept, it talks about being able to take a man or take the conscious from a dead state to a more awakened state and being able to remove yourself from a terrible or bad situation. Right. So I saw that as, straight up the teachings. That whole storyline is nothing but the teachings.
Yes.
Being able to resurrect the dead. Me and my wife, we was just watching a program the other night, and we didn't believe how dead our people were before Master Fard Muhammad came and before Elijah came. Like, super dead. Some of our people are still that way, but to see somebody just outright honor a slave master like George Washington without any hesitation, as if he's some type of hero to a black person, is just beyond me.
Right.
So it's just a lot of being able to resurrect and lift the consciousness to another level. That's what stuck out the most for me.
Indeed.
So this is a very loaded question, or is a loaded answer, a multifaceted answer. So we can look at the Matrix from a number of perspectives. So conceptually, right? You're talking about existing in a reality versus living in a reality.
Right.
To be in the Matrix is to be a part of the system and be what the minister, I think, called said from a report. Is it what useless eaters or something like that? I forget the term. I don't want to misquote him.
Right.
So you're plugged in and you don't desire anything for yourself. You're satisfied, right? You're a sheep. So what's put in front of you, you go ahead and take it. You don't ask questions. You're not a critical thinker, right? But through the glitches in the Matrix, Neo understood that there was something more than what he was a part of.
Come on.
That's right.
And then after discovering Morpheus, who gave him what? Knowledge of self.
There we go.
He then went from the Matrix to a higher level of existence. So how to relate it to the real world? You come into the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now your brain and your mind takes flight. So you're not necessarily having super strength and flying around, but you can fly around your reality, and you can change your life and the life of those connected to you and your community. So no longer do you sell drugs in your community. Do you live an aimless life, just spend all your days on the corner, what have you? You start a business, you get a job, right? You clean yourself up, you marry a believing woman, you build family, right? You create legacy, right? And disconnect yourself from that which is diametrically opposed to your rise.
Indeed.
Right? Now we can look at it on a very physical sense. People can say what they want, but the metaverse look a lot like the Matrix.
Come on.
Okay. Now I'm not to say that it's a bad thing. Again, tools are tools, right? Depending on how you use it, right? We have to in Islam, we have to take modern technology and use it for the glory of Allah and the rise of our people, right? But being overly connected to something and trying to be a new person or to disconnect from your issues and your troubles, that has always been. So I think what we take from the Matrix is less the hardware aspect, but more the software aspect. What does that mean for our lives, right? One of the most dangerous things today is, back in the day, you had a black person who was ignorant and to some degree knew they were. Now you have a black person who is ignorant but thinks they're not. So, and not only that they're not, they think they're highly enlightened.
Yes.
And then go through life striving to prove to everyone that they are, but not making any real physical progress. Right. So you want to talk about this leader, not this leader, not that, or they in it for the money. But if I look down in your bottom of your videos, you selling some products, you selling a t-shirt, you selling the course, right? But then if I ask you, okay, well, what are we supposed to do? Where are we leading us to? All you have is your online platform. Nobody ever seen you in the street, right? FOI, we in the street all the time. So some of these talking heads that want to talk against the Nation of Islam, where are y'all at?
Right.
Except online.
Right.
So you so up in the Matrix because that's where you are armchair revolutionary. But still our people can't eat. Our people don't have safe communities. But we talk about how we light beings and we from this planet and we supposed to be blue and green, supposed to breathe nitrogen. But how does that help our people right now? Let alone if it's true or not. Can you start a community garden? Right? Can you secure your block? Can you own your home? Okay, well then we can talk about other stuff. But until we can master self-improvement, which is the basis for community development, all that stuff is out the window. And that is how you break from the proverbial matrix. So I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. No, it absolutely does. It actually ties back into what you guys were saying earlier about how, and now that I'm actually digesting what you said a little while ago, it's actually kind of crazy that you even said this, was that the good and evil between using the information that comes from STEM and essentially how it could be used for good. In the good that you were talking about, being able to organize people to start a community farm or anything of the such, anything of positivity, or just being indulged in it and almost having it control you to the where you're not really progressing in life, or you're actually and Pops, we spoke about this earlier, you're actually impeding on someone else's progress. And again, like you said, it goes back into the knowledge you have of STEM. Are you using STEM to better your environment, or is STEM being used on you to for you to be influenced to do whatever whoever is in your control is telling you to do.
Right.
And it's a selfish need. You know, we can use it like Trey said. You know, we can use it to add and multiply our community and our reality, or we can divide and subtract and take away from that reality and somebody else's reality. You know what I mean? And I'm curious. You are an engineer, Brother Jabril, correct?
Yes, sir.
What type of engineer are you currently studying, or
Yes, sir.
title right now?
Yes, sir. So I currently work as a mechanical engineer with a focus on fluid systems. My background is in material science and engineering. So breaking that down, my background is in the understanding of the various material classes constituting metals, ceramics. Think about ceramics as a very hard and brittle material. If you look at, or anybody have their grandmother and they look in their china cabinet, that's a ceramic, right? Then you have polymers. Polymers are synonymous with like plastics, right? Very durable yet pliable materials that you can bend and shape and they return back to their original position. You have semiconducting materials, which are between conductors and insulators, right? You have superconducting materials that typically operate under very low temperatures to be able to, as a means to a very specified end. You have composite materials, and these are interesting because composites take one material and another and mix them and intertwine them together to achieve additional beneficial characteristics like enhanced strength, enhanced malleability, enhanced ductility, or what have you. So that is where my background lies, and then utilizing that understanding to be able to make things lighter, faster, stronger, more durable, more efficient, right? And being able to add value to any engineer, any project, because I know and I have an understanding of, okay, this is what this material's strengths and weaknesses are. This is the application. We want to use this versus this. Now, where mechanical engineering comes in terms of it being a happy marriage is the mechanical engineer has to understand things like fluid processes, dynamic processes, static processes. Dynamic means motion or kinetic processes, and static means static or not moving processes, and how things interconnect and work together to move a load or what have you. Well, your material comes into play with that because, okay, if I have a certain process or a certain system within a ship, a car, what have you, that undergoes a certain level of cycles per minute, so it's involved in a level of cyclic loading, but I'm using a poor material. Well, my process and my system may be up to snuff and correct, but this material cannot withstand the load created and then it fails. So a big part of material science and engineering and mechanical is understanding failure analysis and root cause analysis. Well, how did this fail? Why did this fail? Was it temperature related? Was it cycle related? Was it in a certain environment, let's say around salt water, what have you? One thing in what I do working in a naval capacity is, you're in a saltwater environment. So how do your materials hold up in that environment? But I work on the fluid side of things. So that's a bit of understanding. I didn't want to speak too long on that. I'll be all the way over here. So I hope that answered your question.
No, that was absolutely clear.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Because I know the importance of not just the mechanical engineer, but just the title of engineering. And in the supreme wisdom, Master Farad tells the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that we're going to need engineers to build our nation.
That's right.
So that profession is definitely required and important. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Trey.
So Pops, you were asking him about the mechanical engineer. He's a mechanical engineer. Okay. And Brother Tariq, you said you're a biomedical engineer for cardiovascular?
No, sir. I'm not a biomedical engineer. I'm a biomedical scientist. So I study pretty much the biochemical foundation. So let me just break up biomedical science first. So a biomedical scientist is a scientist trained in biology to study diseases in the laboratory and eventually come up with different types of therapies and treatments for certain diseases, right? So in my case, we're dealing with cardiovascular issues, like we're dealing with treatments or therapies for heart attacks, heart failure, atherosclerosis, blood clots, different things of that nature. So, but biomedical science is just to kind of paint you a picture of who and what they are when you've seen them in the community. Think about Kismikia Corbett, the sister that works for the National Institutes of Health, to have developed the sequencing for the vaccine that they're currently using today for COVID. Just giving you examples.
Right.
Or anyone that you see the pharmaceutical reps that develop birth control medication or different things like that.
Right.
So in my case, studying the biochemical foundation of all living matter is very crucial to what I do, because I have to, first and foremost, I have to understand how the body works. If I don't understand how the body works, or how whatever living organism I'm studying, I won't be able to effectively find a treatment or therapy for a disease of that organism. So if I don't know how the heart works, if I don't know how blood cells work or how the immune system works, there's no way I'm going to be able to create any type of antibodies, extract any antibodies, or anything of that nature. I just have to understand how the body works. And then once you understand how the body works, you get your laboratory training, you understand how things work in the laboratory, how certain chemicals interact with the body, how certain diseases interact with other medications when put under certain stressors and different things of that nature. So, and I particularly took a liking to the heart, because it's always been the organ that intrigued me the most out of the rest of the body. It just has a bigger and greater responsibility than the rest, in my scientific and humble opinion. Not to say that anybody in any other fields in medicine is not important. To me, the heart is just the best. So that's really what I do in a nutshell. And I also work with. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I think it's amazing. You both, Jabril, you work with the non-organic, and then brother Tariq, you work with the organic. And I think it's funny that you guys are best friends. You guys have the STEM File show together. Besides the STEM File show, what other ways has your backgrounds and your careers in STEM have you been able to use that background in your personal lives? Because I know for me and Pop Trey, we talk about it a lot. We've recently been working in the psychology field, and I think we both can agree the biggest thing we've learned about is how to deal with people on an individual basis when it comes to relationships, outside of being at work. When we're at home, like a lot of the things that we've been able to learn from our profession, we've been able to apply directly in our day-to-day lives. My question to you guys have any of those realizations, I guess, from your backgrounds?
I will humbly, first and foremost, I want to kind of preface what I'm going to say with this. So I think Brother Tariq can attest to this. So I'm a student first. So I am growing in mastery of what I'm involved in, but I never profess to be an expert, never profess to be a master. I'm a student. And I feel like having a student mentality, as taught to us by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, of course, is important because we continue to grow toward limitless progress. Once you think you have it, you lose it.
That's right.
Right.
So that applies to your question, because I don't think there's ever a time when I don't use STEM in my life. Because above anything, STEM is a methodology. It's a culture. It's a way of life. What are we taught? Islam is what? Mathematics, and mathematics is Islam. It can be proven at no limit of time. So STEM is the way you move through life, the way you interact with your fellow man, the way you interact at your job. It's critical thinking. It's problem solving. It's understanding and capitalizing on what's around you as a means to a specified end. So I use STEM in my marriage. I use STEM in my mentorship. I use STEM at work. Obviously, I use STEM on the basketball court, right? I use STEM when I'm in the kitchen with my wife. I use STEM in a number of ways because at any time I'm like, how can I be the most efficient and effective? I use STEM when I speak, right?
Right.
So how can I effectively get across this idea in the least amount of words or in a way that this individual understands it? That's science, right? I'm not going to say to Sun Trey maybe the same thing I say to Pop Trey. I'm not going to speak to Tariq the same way I speak to my wife. It may not land on the ears sonically the same.
That's right.
You know?
Vibrations, tones,
all of that.
So
very specifically, as I close out on my answer, I was just having, I mentioned before, a mentorship call. So like I said, from Philadelphia, I went to George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science. I visited my alma mater a couple of weeks ago and talked to my former engineering geometry teacher. And we were just talking about the podcast, talking about things I'm involved in. And he sent me an email connecting me to a young, lady who's a junior. So we spoke, we were talking, and I was just pouring into her and talking about science, talking about STEM, talking about our respective backgrounds and some things she should do and ways to think. But I was speaking to her specific condition. I was surgically trying to awaken her to understanding that she is enough, right? She is not to compare herself to anybody but who she is now and then who she wants to be. If she can close that gap, then she's successful.
Right.
But there's a number of processes and systems that you have to go through within self to be successful. You have to fail forward.
Right.
That's a whole process or scientific method in of itself. And it requires courage to do so. So I hope that answers your question, bro.
Indeed.
No, right on. Brother Tariq, you want to add to that?
Absolutely. I just want to say, I'm glad Jabril touched on, being able to use STEM in all aspects of your life. For those who know me and know OMS, I work very closely with the Navy Bean, right? Mm-hmm. And the Navy Bean is the product I use for a lot of the therapy discoveries that I do with my science and my research. So one of the things, that really, really resonates with me in my spirit is when I was able to take that bean and allow and really use it to help a family member overcome a autoimmune disease.
Wow.
And for those who are watching, autoimmune disorders are things like lupus, Graves' disease, HIV, AIDS, stuff like that. And when you're able to understand and you're able to use the scientific training and background that you have and apply it to someone who's going through something very, very painful and stressful and emotional, you get to truly see, first and foremost, you know what you're talking about. And second, you're able to really bear witness to what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said and Master Fard Muhammad said about that small white Navy being. And anybody who ever has a conversation with me about science, it's not me if I don't talk about the Navy being.
No, it's not.
That's just me. It's not me. So if I don't talk about that, I don't talk about the science that was given to us from Allah in person, I really can't truly live up to what I say I am and as a scientist without bringing that into the light. Right. But seeing them overcome that situation, seeing them be able to reverse the condition or wean themselves off of medication temporarily without, any drastic side effects was, just incredible to me. I just wanted to share that personal story with the audience about, using science in my life and using science to change other lives.
I have to say something because bro not gonna say it. So our brother is, along with several other medically inclined believers, have been very instrumental in assisting the Nation of Islam in what we see today as far as our defense against COVID-19, right? From research to certain supplementation or what have you. If you all remember when Brother Student Minister Nori did the Diet of God lecture throughout the pandemic, he got a good amount, if not all of his Navy being like data from Brother Tariq.
Oh, praise due to Allah. Okay.
Brother Tariq is my foremost expert that I go to if I got Navy being questions. Now I don't know if he the best, but he dang sure the best for me. So if I got a Navy being, if I ask Brother Tariq right now to run down all the dietary benefits of Navy being, he gonna be able to do it. If I'm like, oh, Brother Tariq, what's that? It's this to the Navy being, right? I'm trying to talk to somebody about it. I call Tariq.
Right.
So seriously.
So sticking with the Navy being, Brother Tariq, what give me some sort of treatments that we can use the Navy being for. I think I saw something on your show yesterday that you create some sort of biochemical fuel.
Yes, sir. So the biofuel, that's really not a treatment for disease. You know, that's something we use for your engine or what have you. But there's the flagship product that I'm currently making available to the public very soon. Well, making it available to physicians so that they can introduce it to their patients first. You got to make sure it's done right.
That's right.
Right. It's a treatment for blood clots, and it was inspired by a Japanese therapy that's out now. I'm not gonna go into details, but there's a variety of things that the Navy bean can be used to make. So I want you to think of the Navy bean as a substrate. A substrate is something that you use as a foundation, then you build upon that foundation to make other things. So I'm gonna give you a good example. So when you are, what's a good example of a substrate? So say for example, right, you are making a soap, right? And in order for the soap to actually foam up or do anything of that nature, it has to have some type of oil or, and Jabril, help me out with this because I know you and your esters and all that. But so a substrate is just think about anything that you put something onto to make it change or do anything better with, like peanut butter and jelly, whatever. You put the peanut butter is the substrate, and then the jelly is what you put on top of it, and you making something totally different, right?
Right.
So I'm trying not to sound so sciencey. So when you're using the Navy bean, what we're doing is we're using that as the foundation. Then we're adding other different types of things to it, like a beneficial bacteria, another chemical, and it'll transform the Navy bean's chemistry to be used for something else. Gotcha. You know, that's how therapies work. You take something out the natural environment, you add something to it, and it becomes something totally different. George Washington Carver showed us how to do that. Several black scientists showed us how to do that. Percy Julian, let's see, variety of black scientists showed us how to do that. So, you know, with the Navy bean, what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a whole new class of medicines, a whole new class of industrial products. I really want to show the community that bean soup and bean pie is not the only thing that you got in your house that's touched by the Navy bean.
Go ahead, you're teaching.
Right.
It's not the only thing. You know, I know we're supposed to eat it. That's great. But can we put it in our cars too? You know, can we breathe it so that we can adjust, so that we can heal ourselves from respiratory tract infections or different types of respiratory diseases, anything like that? Can we use it to combat hormone deficiencies or hormone imbalances? Yes, we can. You know?
Okay.
Just think. So if I had to make a very clear comparison, right? The Navy bean is to the Nation of Islam what vibranium is to Wakanda.
There we go.
Facts.
Okay. That's what it really can be to the world if we understand how much that bean has been blessed.
Right.
And how much can be extracted from it in addition to bean soup, bean pie, which is beautiful.
Yeah, that's great.
So you can make textiles, you can do nutraceuticals, you can do therapies. and Rich Man Scientific, we're putting our heads together to really bring these products and services that stem from How to Eat to Live, stem from the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad to our people and the world, and show a revamped and renewed understanding of the teachings through science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So, bro, I try to tell him all the time. Probably tell him more, but he's brilliant. He's doing a great work.
Absolutely,
Brother Jabril, Brother Tariq, you guys are giving us a whole lot of wonderful information. Staying on the subject of how to eat to live, in the Navy being and how important the diet is. It is Ramadan, so I would love to get you guys' perspective on the benefits of participating in Ramadan. So I open the floor to you guys to allowing our viewers to get you guys' perspective, because at the end of the day, you guys are Muslim, but at the same time, you guys are also from the STEM field as well. So if you guys would like to speak on the benefits or your guys' perspective on Ramadan.
Sure.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, I do this. I actually in Muhammad's Mosque number 24, and Brother Tracy can attest to this. We have a segment called Muhammad's Medical Minute, and it's a segment where we talk about the healthcare and medical issues that we have in the Black community, right?
Yes, sir.
And one of the things I spoke about 2 Sundays ago was the benefits of fasting. Ramadan had just started, and we wanted to share with the community the not only the physical benefits and the spiritual benefits of fasting, but as well as understanding what Ramadan truly is. A lot of people have different reasons for why they're fasting or why they're participating in Ramadan. It may be to lose weight, it may be to get closer to Allah, various reasons. It may be all of those things, but the true purpose of Ramadan is to get closer to Allah.
That's right.
It's to
Yes, sir.
it's to make to assess your spirit, assess your spiritual strength, to see where you are on that spectrum, and then move that needle closer to the end of that spectrum, which is Allah.
Yes, sir.
He is the foundation. He is the essence of which all things come from. So we need to be able to feed on that, or we'll fall apart. We won't have anything. We won't really have an Islamic foundation to live off of and feed on or feed up.
Right.
So,
Brother Tariq, just to ask you real quick, for people that don't know, how does the fasting get you closer to God?
absolutely. So
to
fasting.
Allah?
So we're taught that food, sex, sleep, money, all of those things are gods in their own right.
Right.
So when we are able to restrain ourselves or release ourselves from those gods and be able to put ourselves under the only true living God,
Go ahead. Good
which
teaching.
is Allah,
Yes,
then
ma'am.
we can really master anything. That's what it's all about. It's about nothing having the ability to control you but him.
Right.
That means no matter where you go, no matter who you talking to, you could be talking to Biden, Joe Biden directly in his face, and he won't have no kind of effect on you because you are so in tune with Allah God.
Right.
No, there's no type of temptation, no type of evil that could affect you because you're able to resist it in such a manner that it gets you closer to Allah. That's what the fast is ultimately all about, is getting away from the things that can control you, and those things are God. So if you can remove yourself from having or desiring any of those things, what is against you? What could possibly affect you? Nothing but God, but Allah.
If I may, I would like to just add or just dovetail off of what bro said very quickly. So a couple of things for those who may be unclear about why he referred to those things as gods. God simply means something possessing power and force.
Right.
So now you get into true gods, false gods. right? Those are false gods. But anything we attribute or allow to have power and force over us,
right,
can be deemed our God, right?
Right.
Sex, money, right? Food, those things that we give ourselves over to incessantly and we exceed the limits, as the Quran talks about, that can become our God. Now, there's a very distinct difference between fasting and not eating.
come on.
Okay? Everybody cannot eat. Not everybody can fast.
Right.
Because it's hard to fast, but you don't believe in a higher power than yourself.
That's right.
It's hard to fast, but be so self-indulgent that you see yourself as the center of everything. Right? So there's a multifaceted approach to the fast that is Ramadan. So you don't eat. You withhold yourself from sexual activity. Right? You engage in charitable acts. You read a 30th of the Holy Quran for all 30 days. All this is preparing your mind to focus on the source of strength, right? The Lord of the worlds, Rabbil Alameen, right? That is how you get closer to Allah, because you remember, what does the good book say? The remembrance of Allah is the greatest force.
That's right.
So Ramadan allows you to tap into said greatest force by doing said things. And like brother said, when you understand that you can forsake that which is natural, you will naturally be able to forsake that which is unnatural. I'm gonna say that again one more time. When you can forsake that which is natural, you can naturally forsake that which is unnatural, and we can gain mastery over self. Right. So that's what it's all about, beloved. And that's what we're striving toward, to align ourselves with the Lord of the world so that we can be successful in doing his will to the best of our ability.
That's right.
Absolutely.
If I could just add on to that, the last thing, and like you said, brother Tariq and brother Jabril, it's resisting your lower temptations.
Yes, sir.
And maintaining your focus on the highest frequency, which is your heart and your brain. And that's where it lies. Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Another question. You guys have the STEM files. And I was just wondering what has been the a major controversial topic you guys had to discuss on the show.
I like this question.
Yeah, man.
Deep. Okay. Good one, son.
Okay, you said controversial. Okay, off rip.
Yeah, so something that you guys introduced it and you may have seen in the comments. It was pretty rowdy, pretty active.
Yeah.
Even for you, maybe in between you guys having the conversation, it got a little heated.
Well, okay, I'm gonna put it like this. So we actually had a YouTube video that was actually taken down because of the content of the video. So we had Dr. Sophia Shabazz on the show, who is known as the Doc from the Top of the Clock, mentor of mine and my wife's, very close to Jabril and his family.
That's amazing.
She has had a very successful journey with ivermectin.
Come on now.
And ivermectin has shown promising results with her and her patients. YouTube didn't like it. The world don't like it. A lot of she's went through a lot when it comes to ivermectin and using it to treat her patients. And when we had her on the show, it blew up the comment section when we were live. And a lot of people were, trying to understand, why can't you get ivermectin over the counter? Why do you need a doctor's prescription? Stuff like that.
Right.
And it was controversial because one, it serves as an alternative to the vaccine.
Come on.
Let's be real with it. It's when you have options, you don't have to be forced to take anything.
Right.
If your body and if your doctor makes an assessment and sees that your body is able to handle the ivermectin, you should be able to take what you were recommended to take and what you want to take. It's your body.
Come on now.
Indeed.
So there's nothing of value in possession greater than your own body.
That's right.
You know, so if you telling me I got to take something against my will, and because you said so, because this quote unquote, and I'm gonna go on the rant, so I'm gonna leave that alone. But
I know what you feel, man. I know what you feel, brother.
right, come on, man. So that was a controversial episode. Jabril, you got a few that you can think of?
I mean, you know, I was gonna go straight to COVID.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was gonna go straight there. I mean, that's
Well, we can say on that, 'cause my next question is gonna be geared towards that, anyways.
yeah. So that was literally, that's been the most in recent times controversial aspect to what we've put out. You know, because we know we're under the guidance of the Honorable Mr. Farrakhan. He told us not take the vaccine.
That's
And
right.
we have very open and candid conversation. And one of the things that we do always before our show is ask people if there are things that they don't want to discuss. Because
Right.
what we don't do is we're not the baiting podcast.
That's it.
We
That's
don't
it.
try
That's
to
how we do.
we don't try to get you
Neither
to
are
say
we.
something or answer something to drive clicks and likes and things. That's not what we do, right? We get your blessing, and then we ask questions based on the blessing of what we are able to ask. So, but that's been the most controversial thing. But yes, sir. You had your question, Trey. So, Trey.
Yes, sir. So staying on the COVID topic in a sense, just from your both of your perspectives of the current events that are going on right now, can you guys shed some light on what you guys see that's going on in the world right now? We have Russia versus Ukraine, like you guys said. We had the controversy with COVID. What is all of this? What does all of this mean to you guys?
You go ahead, bro. I just got one phrase. That's all I got.
Right, and I'm sure that I have the same one, beloved. And that's really following the guidance and the instructions from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when it comes to, first and foremost, COVID-19. He has instructed all of us to not let our guard down. This pandemic is not over.
Nope.
As much as the media has made it their business to say with one jab you can go back to normalcy. No.
3 jabs later. No,
Right.
it's
Right.
Your
How many
science
boosts?
or scholarship from hell will not solve this.
Come on now.
It won't do it. You have to go to Allah. You need to go to heaven. It's a pestilence from heaven.
Come on.
You know, so all I would say, and I tell this to the believers in Richmond all the time, is to not keep your guard down, wear your mask. I know in the mosque it's now optional, but when you're out in public, everybody's not a believer.
That's right.
You know, we're relying and we have faith in the believers listening to Minister Farrakhan. Everybody outside that mosque ain't doing that. You know, so you continue to wear your mask when you're around people, continue to wear your mask in public places, especially in medical facilities. But you want to just, you know, keep your guard up, keep doing what you're supposed to be doing with your hygiene and everything like that.
Right.
You're building your immune system, and that's how you're going to get through this pandemic. Now, as far as Ukraine, I have no comment. We've already been given the guidance from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan regarding Ukraine, and that is it's the beginning of the end for Europe, and it's the start of the end of the world that as we see it. You know, just like it is with COVID-19, it's just multiple pestilences happening at once.
Right.
All I got to add is this. Go to www.finalcall.com and get The Fall of America by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's all I got to say.
It's all right there in that book.
I got mine.
Yes, sir.
Literally verbatim, everything.
Just to clarify, so what you're saying is all these current events that are going on right now that is causing mass hysteria, mass panic. Like you guys have said, we're seeing like
There you go.
a major job loss in America and around the world. Right. The stocks are out of control. The world, you know what I'm saying, is in turmoil right now. So these events right now you're saying are in this book specifically?
Yes. We're literally walking through the scriptures. You know, we have to understand that who that Georgia-born black man was and is. I say is for those who think he's dead. Okay,
That's
right.
That's right.
He told us of what was to occur, and we're literally walking through his words right now. Now, we may still disagree or be like, "Oh, that's not what's happening." Well, just wait a little while. We have supply chain issues. We have a war overseas. We have a pestilence, right? What was after pestilence? What was it? Famine.
Famine.
That's right.
So
Yep.
supply chain, but see, we don't want to. We think that the scriptures are made up, right? See, we think that God has no place sometimes, and that's why it's so important to be able to marry what you believe scripturally, religiously, to what is scientifically. Because if you don't have a happy marriage there, you can't really claim to have the truth or the way.
Right.
So
That's right.
critical thinking is a part of true religion.
Mm.
Problem solving is a part of true religion. Right? So, yes, sir, absolutely. These events that are happening are a part of a paradigm shift.
Absolutely.
And people are waking up and striving to do their best to adjust. We have rising gas prices because of what? This war.
Inflation. Right? There it is.
That's right.
The first one of the first things that young Elijah Muhammad said that will be the fall was the dollar bill.
Yep.
There we go.
And that was the first thing to collapse, which would increase a domino effect.
Yep.
And everything else. And after that, 100% dissatisfaction, and it's over.
There it goes. So
absolutely.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. All right, Trey. I think we need to wrap this up, brother.
Yes, sir. Any you guys any platforms you guys want to share with our viewers? You guys want to shout out the STEM files and any other projects you guys may have coming out?
Absolutely. I'm gonna let you do that, bro.
No.
Okay. All right.
That's
okay.
nothing. Come on, man.
Well,
Who's the promoter?
I will do it. So, family, as we said, Jabril engineer Tariq Cardiac, co-owners and director of engineering and COO at Original Man Scientific. For more on Original Man Scientific, go to www.scienceByOMS.com. That's www.scienceByOMS.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Science by OMS, or is it? Is that at OMANSCI_ on Facebook still. You can follow us on Instagram at Science by OMS, and you can follow us on Twitter. Is it at OMANSCI_ right now, bro?
No, sir. I changed it to Science by OMS.
Yes. So Twitter is at Science by OMS as well. For the STEM files on Facebook, at the STEM files on FB, at the STEM files on FB, the STEM files on Instagram, the STEM files on Twitter. Go to the STEM files on YouTube. Just type in the STEM files. It'll be the channel that has the black fist with all of these scientific instruments and phenomena in it. Go watch us. All of our past recorded shows are there. Every Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live on Facebook and YouTube at the STEM Files. Tap in with us, ask questions, learn about yourself, learn why and how Black is STEM, and just be fed as you strive to add value to your evening. We have some awesome projects and products coming out from Original Man Scientific. I work primarily on our external services, things like shipping container solutions, mobile app development, invention, innovation. And Tariq is working hard to deliver our flagship products on our research and development side as it pertains to the Navy bean and other products. So we have a lot coming down the pike, family. We also have some apparel for the STEM files coming out as well, some STEM-based apparel.
Yeah.
So we'll be connecting with our various super fans, top fans, fellow influencers, and people to start, to be ambassadors, if you will, for the STEM file. So look forward to that as well. But that's it. We got so much coming down the pike, and we ask Allah to bless us to be successful for our community.
Absolutely.
Word. Brother Jabril,
looking out for And apparel, man. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
absolutely. Hey, we won't mind being an ambassador, man. I'll definitely
Right,
rock it, no
right.
problem.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Always, always.
Brother Tariq, Brother Jabril, it was a pleasure having you both on the show. We
Thank you, brothers.
hope that, you know what I'm saying, this has been comfortable for you guys as well. We'd love to have you guys back on the show anytime you guys have the time to. Please hit us up. We'll love to have you guys back.
Salute, fruit.
Hey,
Yes,
you too.
sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, beloved.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Brother
you, man.
Jabril,
Thank you.
Brother
Thank you so
Tariq,
much.
y'all have a blessed rest of y'all's day.
The
And
same,
again,
sir.
we hope to work
Yes,
with
sir.
you guys in the future. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
will.
Yes,
We
sir.
will.
Praise be to
Assalamu
Allah.
alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all have a blessed night. Thank you.
Thank you,
the same,
sir.
too.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Yes, sir.
All right, Pops.
Man, awesome.
Another
Awesome.
beautiful episode.
Can we get a soul clap? Can we get a soul clap?
Yes,
Can
sir.
we get a
Yes,
soul
sir.
clap? Yeah.
Two shakes of a lane, sir.
A round of applause. A round of applause for the jump. For the brothers taking the time. Spitting that knowledge. There it is.
Yep. So that was
Man.
Brother Jabril, Brother Tariq. Just
Wow.
great minds that
Wow.
we just had on the show. Able to give us some valuable information.
Never fails.
Again, another situation where I had some questions lined up, and
Right.
while you know, what I'm saying I asked the first question, they're answering 3 questions ahead,
Right.
which is no
Right.
problem at all. It works for me.
That's how it works.
Just a great, comfortable atmosphere to have them on. Like I said again, they were super informative. I hope that you guys out there have learned just as much as I have. And again, I'd love to have them on. Like I said, I'd love to have them back on the show to pick their brains some more and learn as much as we can from them. Pops, you want to add to that?
Wow. All I can say is wow. These two well-educated, knowledgeable brothers blessed us today with their knowledge and wisdom through the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Minister Louis Farrakhan. I just have to, I'm grateful, you know what I mean? And once again, we have not struck out as far as who we bring on this podcast channel.
No, not at all.
Not struck out at all. You know what I mean? We just hitting our viewers with just, you know what I mean, knowledge, wisdom, and true understanding from all sorts of life, all sorts of age, you know what I mean, expertise, and professions. And, you know what I mean? And I just have to say, son, yo, man, I feel blessed. You know what I mean? All praise due to Allah, man. That, you know, we are here to allow these individuals who are brilliant in their own walks of life come on to this platform and produce to us their purpose. I think we talked about that in the last episode. When you're walking in your purpose, you know what I mean? And these individuals or people are walking in their purpose and contributing.
Word. And we know they are because like you mentioned before we got on, you were on their podcast before we even started our podcast, which inspired you to talk to me about starting this podcast. So shouts out to them, to Brother Tariq and Brother Jabril in their show, The STEM Files, because without their show, this show would not exist. So all praises due to Allah in them.
Absolutely. Thank you, brothers. You know what I mean? But then, what a show! What a show!
Word. I think my greatest what I liked about this the most was the fact that these two brothers are in our community, in the Islamic community, but at the same time they're both high achieving scientists, and it shows the world that because a lot of time we see in the media how the people in the science and the people in religion are here when it comes to perspectives, But
Right.
I love the fact that we have those two on here because it shows that you can be religious and spiritual and have a scientific mind, and that the two can cooperate rather than be at odds. So again, I'm just happy to have them on the show, and hopefully we'll be able to have them on
Yes.
in the future.
Oh, we will. We will. The STEM Files meets the TwoTreys podcast. Oh, it's on. We got, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure, you know, we'll be guests on their show, on their platform. You know what I mean? But brother Tariq and I are part of the Ministry of Health within our local mosque here in Richmond, Virginia, Mosque 24. So we have been working close together with each other for a few months now. So brilliant, brother. Brilliant. Man, what a show.
Word.
I can't
Pops,
wait to the next guest.
anything you want to add before we get out of here?
Pretty much all I think I gotta say, man, is everybody have a blessed weekend. Again, for the Muslims out there, Ramadan Mubarak. This is Ramadan, and it's almost time to eat. I'm hungry.
Food should be on the stove, right?
Absolutely. But what you gonna do this weekend, man?
Me, I am gonna get some work done. You know, I've actually told you guys out there, but you know, Pops, me and some friends and some associates got together and we started this business together.
Got a new business picture, right?
Let's fix it, yes, sir. So this weekend is gonna be my first day out in the field and working on that. What we'll be doing essentially, guys, is if you are in the Florida area and you have a broken, cracked, damaged windshield, hit me up. I'll be able to essentially replace that for free because if you have full coverage insurance by Florida state law, it is mandated that your windshield not be cracked or damaged, and they cover the charge for you. So if you have full coverage insurance, that is no charge to you at all. But to be able to access that, you have to go through me. So hit me up if you guys are in the Florida area. You need your windshield replaced.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Like
So yeah, so this weekend is
person,
yes, sir. This weekend we'll be out in the field and pushing the business. I think we had our first business meeting a week or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember. Time flies by for me. But yeah, now we're definitely putting the feet to the ground and definitely getting out there for sure.
Well, salute to
Yes,
you,
sir.
man. Salute to you. Much success.
Yes, sir.
My last thing is, you know, pretty much as always, if you're in the Ashland, Richmond, surrounding areas, come on down to Tags Healthy Wellness Living, 117 Junction Drive. And let me provide you with something healthy and nutritional. Come see.
Word. And let's not forget to promote the show. If you guys are loving the show, you guys are enjoying the guests that we're having on and enjoying the conversations that we're having. If you guys want to be more interactive, go ahead and subscribe, like, and start following the channel.
Share.
Absolutely. Definitely share it. Let your friends know. Let your family know. We're definitely out here, trying to reach you guys. So again, we're trying to make this show as interactive as possible. So guys, again, please leave your comments. And during the lives, we'll make sure to get to those comments. And again, just subscribe to the channel. And that way you'll be able to get notified when we do go live. Because most of our shows are live, so you'll be able to interact during that time. So go ahead and subscribe so you'll get the notification and all that good stuff. Also, if you guys would like to donate to the channel, you will be able to do that just by hitting the description link in the box below. All you got to do is hit that tab and you'll be able to leave a donation of your choosing. But with that, I'm Sun Trey. This has been Pop Trey. And it's been TwoTreys podcast. Another beautiful, immaculate, amazing episode, and much more to come for you guys.
Again, STEM Files, brother Jabril, brother Tariq, salute.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you both.
Awesome minds.
Yes, sir. All right, Pops, I'll go ahead and get us out of here. and we're gonna have
You should take a shot with it now, son.
a
What you
grand
got there? What you got
Friday.
there?
I don't know. Let's see.
Random. Pick a two.
All right. I'll have my world go ahead and play since it has a video. Pretty cool, I guess, to give you guys a little visual as well. All right, Pops, I'll go ahead and get us out of here. Y'all have a happy Friday. Go ahead and listen to the song at the end of the show. Love you too, Pops. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I'm going to eat.
All right, world. Y'all have a... Yes, sir.
All right,
yeah,
man.
I gotta
Peace,
give something to my stomach as well.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a safe weekend, man.
You too, Pops.
Right.
Y'all have a safe day as well, guys.
You like me?
Like you. How do you know?
I know. The eyes, Chico. They never lie. Me, I want what's coming to me.
Oh, well, what's coming to you?
The world, Chico. And everything in it.
Check. 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 Let me test this shit out. One mic check. Okay, I'm ready for the bout. This game's a shallon game. Lame see me on the mountain. I'm high as hell. A reference to my skill. Crush some grapes, I'm squashing this beat. Blood wine tasting with the world under my feet. Chris the cold boom, he's new bomb, the new Godfather Don. Now I'm faced with the decision. It's so hard to be a Prince MC. I knew the world was mine before I turned age 3. I'm crazy cause I know my ambitions are a guarantee. So who are you to me when I am everything you wanna be? So now that's a good question. I can kick it, shit. Rap is in my spirit. If I throw a fit, I just might kill it. I submit, no one else but me can spit. I admit, in hip hop, y'all unfit. The game is bent. Who now does it represent? Cause it's only fueling the black discontent on the white rule continent. We in trouble, always living in the struggle. How can we rumble if all you do is mumble? If football is your best move to fumble, fuck the games. I don't leave my house for lanes, wearing chains and using baby names. If I have to, I'll save hip hop on my own. I take stones to my bones to sit on the throne. Hail Chris Nicole, his name is my name too, and his reign is past overdue. Me, I play my whole day, something that y'all can't say. Every day's my birthday, and everything is for me. I kick rhymes, make minds, I KO the headlines. I can't hear you from the sidelines. I'm focused on my future and my history. Always knew that everything is meant to be. Worked me like a slave, now I'm paid to the grave. Looking to save, but I don't wear a cape. The end of the braid, so I fight to be free. Might have lost you, but I never lost me. I move like water, outside this fire daughter. I'm making dollars out of quarters. Don't play games, coach, leave me into OT. All alone, it's just me and the trophy. Chris Nicole with the scar of a lion arrived at the perfect time.